As a kid, I lived in a few different apartment buildings. And there's this one where I remember if I was lying in bed, I could look outside my door and see the spot where the light was coming in from the kitchen and from the living room windows. All that light collected in one spot outside my door. I remember how I would get home from school, then I'd eat, do homework if I had any, and then usually watch TV or play video games until I'd go to bed. And that was somewhere between 9 and 10 p.m. And I remember when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out because it was a game that I was looking forward to a lot. I had loved the first game and hadn't played Chain of Memories, and I was just ready for more Kingdom Hearts. Now, I don't know if this memory is real or not, but I have this memory of playing Kingdom Hearts 2 for the first time, of booting it up and going through the Twilight Town opening section. And I remember looking outside my door, and I saw that spot where all the light hits outside my room. That orange-gold light of our own Twilight. And that opening section of Kingdom Hearts 2, where you play as Roxas in Twilight Town, it hit. I loved that opening section. There was so much palpable mystery and tension, because you didn't have any more of an idea of what was going on than Roxas did. And when Roxas gave that last line that his summer vacation was over, it was so sad. And yet, at the same time, I was so excited to play as Sora. So, my emotions were very mixed at that time. Kingdom Hearts 2's opening made me feel so many things, but the rest of the game really didn't. And it's not something I realized until I was older. Kingdom Hearts 2 is a very fun game, and there's a lot of good things I can say about it. But Kingdom Hearts 1 is on another level for me. And it's one of those things where I could go on and on. I don't think the series ever recaptured the magic of that first game ever again. The original Kingdom Hearts is one of the best games ever made when it comes to childhood experiences. It's not like the game is here to wag its finger at you or teach children a moral or a lesson. It's more like Kingdom Hearts gets it. Like, it looks at all these different experiences that can make up childhood, and it says to you, like, this is really beautiful, isn't it? But at the same time, it kind of sucks. Core to Kingdom Hearts are the bonds between people's hearts. We see it manifest in the Trinity symbols scattered across all of the worlds. Worlds which themselves are connected. Donald and Goofy join Sora in Trinity to form unity, and three hearts join as one in the way that three friends have each other's back no matter what. The bond with Kairi is a bond of giving. The Paupu fruit of shared destiny. Kairi gives Sora the star charm. Sora gives Kairi a star of his own, and those stars take a rest in a cave. Meanwhile, if Kairi is give, then Riku is take. Two hearts locked in combat, wooden swords and races across the beach. Winner take all. It's all in good fun, as long as no one starts to take it too seriously. And key to these heart bonds is that sense of being a child. Sora, Kairi, and Riku are just three kids planning an adventure. They finally want to explore the big, giant world just outside their reach. Donald and Goofy aren't there to help Sora become an adult or grow up. They themselves are big children at heart. Well, Goofy's a big child, Donald's kind of small and short, but you get the idea. And more to the point, who could possibly be better companions in a game about childhood than Donald and Goofy? It's brilliant how in the first Kingdom Hearts, Disney isn't just slapped artificially onto the game. These Disney movies contain characters and feelings that so many kids grow up with. And if you also grew up watching those Disney movies, when you play Kingdom Hearts as an adult, it can let you go back to your childhood, even if just for a few hours. And Sora is the perfect kind of wide-eyed, silly character to play as you hop from memory to memory. But all these memories are fleeting. Darkness reaches in to claim what you hold most dearly beloved. Adults scheme to acquire knowledge and power, and they aren't playing fair or nice. We see what happens to Riku. The more determined he is that he's the hero, that he has to save Kairi no matter what, the more things get twisted. The more Riku seeks power, the more power he loses over himself. Throughout the game, you get these Ansem reports, where you can read about some guy named Ansem, a man who was great and wise, but for all his greatness and wisdom, he became so obsessed with visiting other worlds and the power of darkness that he started using people for his own experiments, and he lost his own heart. Ansem is one of the most clearly adult characters in this game, an adult in his self-assured confidence, in his pursuit of science and reason, and in his power over children. But the Disney villains throughout the game also serve a similar warning. On the path to growing up, if you lose sight of your heart, it will be bad not only for you, but for everyone around you. The darkness in Kingdom Hearts 1 is real. It's not just some anime power level thing. You get a taste of it at the very beginning. The darkness is the unknown, and it's a real fear, especially to a child who wants to explore. And that's why you can't go alone, and you can't forget those good memories. The time we spend on Destiny Islands is short and precious. There is comfort in a childhood home, even if it's one you know you can never go back to. When you're playing Kingdom Hearts and going from Disney World to Disney World, occasionally you'll open up a chest, and inside are Dalmatian puppies. And when you rescue them, they go to Traverse Town to reunite with their family in this tucked-away little safe place between heartless teeming districts. Here's where you can see just how effortlessly the first Kingdom Hearts weaved in all these thematic elements into parts of the game that otherwise could have been quite mundane. Like, you could have gotten from the chest coins of light or something else generic, but instead it's these Dalmatian puppies. You're literally helping these little creatures return home to their safe place between the darkness. And meanwhile, you're playing as Sora, who's on his own mission, and the whole thing just feels so complete. As a series, Kingdom Hearts would go on to get quite the reputation for being convoluted. But the original Kingdom Hearts wasn't like that at all. It took what I'm going to call a simple and clean approach. Yes, Kingdom Hearts is a children's game, but it's one of the most thoroughly thought-through games I've ever played. And just because it's a children's game doesn't mean it wasn't considered down to the most minute detail. Kingdom Hearts is about the call to adventure, to things that are new, but also the pull to go back to things that you miss. Doors represent mystery, because who knows what lies beyond a locked door. And these worlds that have been connected, you could say they're tied to the darkness, sure, but they're also open pathways to new connections with new people, and these new connections make our hearts stronger. Sometimes you'll open a door that, once you enter, you can't go back through. And that's why Sora's key is his heart and his friendships. Riku was the rightful wielder of the keyblade, but in Hollow Bastion, the keyblade goes back to Sora, because Sora's friends are his power, and when you're faced with such great darkness, you need friends. And I'm happy to say that today I have a friend with me as well. Someone who also has a lot of thoughts about Kingdom Hearts, and someone that I've grown up with over the years. Someone who has faced darkness, both together with me and apart on his own. But through it all, we remain connected. With that said, C, roll that beautiful dream footage.
I used to be totally unable to cook for myself. I was in elementary and middle school. If I ate with my family, it was almost always fast food. Sometimes when my mother would prepare spiced meat and stuff to put into tacos or nachos, she'd make mashed potatoes and corn with plenty of butter on toast. One of my favorite meals was spaghetti with meat sauce, with a croissant or two. She presented it to me in a blue tray, separated into 3 compartments, one for the pasta, one for the sauce, one for the croissants. Sometimes she'd call my name, but mostly it was a nickname. Her nicknames for me remain, to this day, Sun and Rolo. Not Frollo, he's a bad guy, I'm mostly good, maybe. Eventually, as I got older, I did the work myself. I'd make myself a smoothie in the mornings, sweet with plenty of fruits, nothing that looked like stars, but very berry, no cherries. And when I had to actually get to school, I'd head out the back door to the garage, then out another door in the garage. There was another door in the garage that we never fixed. It never actually closed. And whenever I used the front door, it was almost always just to let other people in. Some of those people I still talk with regularly. Some of them are gone from my life entirely. I've learned sometimes you gotta get out to experience the rest of the world with people who you already care about. And sometimes, eventually, you have to meet other people and continue your journey that way. See, those doors, that house, I grew up with it in literal and metaphorical ways. All by all, deep by deep, I'll still take my time to go to a certain beach, on a certain island, and sit on the sand and look at the water and look at the sky. Day to night, being with friends as the sun sets, and still recognizing that time has kept moving on. Sora, Kairi, Riku, 3 friends, 3 hearts, 3 destinies. These kids want to leave this town, go to a new place, see new things. And uncertainty, so much possibility, they're excited by it. They can grow, gain experiences, and it's not that they want to leave it all behind. No, as kids, Sora and Kairi made sure they're in each other's hearts forever. Their worlds have been connected, in a secret place. One heart draws the other heart draws one, 2 hearts beating, foreverish enough on the walls of a cave, and Sora knows this is the end of this world when he leaves, and returns to this secret place to try to give his old friend a Paupu star, as foreverly as his drawing can last. But the meaning is forever inside of him, a light that, in a dark, dark cave, can never go out. Wait, who is this freaky figure? What the heck is beyond that freaky door?
Stop freaking me out like this.
But we can't open this door. And we shouldn't open this door. Ride this raft with me for a moment. Imagine being an imaginative child, imagining what is beyond this freaking door, freaking you out in a dark cave where you connected with a friend. Is it a closet? Is it an ice cream dispenser? Is it a whole new world? An uncertainty. So much possibility. Aren't you excited by it? If we open the door, the mystery dies. And the golden eggs disappear. And, hey, Riku's a bit of a jerk. But Sora and Kairi still care about him. And they believe in him. No matter what, his heart is in the right place. Suddenly, and without warning, the adventure you wanted is destroyed before it could even set sail. And what is this freaky place? How did you get here? Where is someone? Anyone? You've crossed into a strange town, waltzed into a shop. Oh! Some foxy Gramps. Wait, don't call him that. Helps you gather your bearings. Hey, it happens, kids. Wait, don't call Sora that. Can Sora ever go home? Was Destiny Islands really his home if he was so adamant about leaving it? And where the heck are his friends? Sometimes you'll open a door that, once you enter, you can't go back through. Hey, it happens, Gramps. And kid, when you get lost, you better hope you have a friend to guide you through the darkness, even if they aren't standing right beside you. Traverse Town is a pretty on-the-nose name, but it starts Sora's unexpected adventure with new friends to reconnect with his old ones who he expected to forge a destiny with. I mean, you know there are many other worlds besides that island and this town, right? They're secret places. Unconnected. Okay guys, Hollow Bastion is pretty dang dense when it comes to the themes of the game, so I gotta condense this sucker. But first, a query. Have you ever fought with a friend over the heart of another person? It's not fun. There is, unsurprisingly, a lot of pain, betrayal, and a certain loneliness involved, knowing you may be damaging the relationship in an irreversible way. It's a dark situation. When you get lost, you better hope you have a friend to guide you through the darkness. I did, but then again, my friends were not an anthropomorphic duck and dog. So, Riku is a huge jerk now, and he's insistent on saving Kairi his own way, and the Keyblade decided to go to him And he throws you the wooden sword you probably didn't beat him with on Destiny Islands. And Donald and Goofy leave you because, well...
You must continue your mission.
But there is this anthropomorphic, what creature even is Beast? Doesn't matter. He's here, he's hurt, and he believes he will save Belle in his own way. And through that belief, in the sincerity of his love for Belle, he just is going to make it happen. Eventually, Donald and Goofy recognize their mistake and stand by Sora to defeat the darkness that has overcome Riku. Riku has been taken into the power of the darkness through Ansem, who reaches his hand out. Sora has been taken into the power of his friendships through, the friends he made along the way, and sinks into its vast ocean, with one last wide smile showing his teeth before actually stabbing himself with a keyblade to save Kairi. Riku could never save Kairi. His heart was no longer in the right place. Hers was, with Sora. Sora had found a home in his friendships. Riku recognizes his mistake and urges his friends to run. And Sora, after becoming a literal heartless in a dangerous situation, oh, time is running out, what do I do, what can I... Kairi hugs Sora. Sora holds Kairi. Kairi knew it was him. They were always together. They made certain of that in their secret place. That was their destiny. My time is almost up, folks, and it's the end of the world. This place is confusing. Don't get me wrong, its atmosphere is great. It is essentially pieces of worlds that have had their own hearts taken. Those lost souls of Traverse Town had homes. This is where they went. Sometimes you'll open a door that once you enter, you can't go back through. Hey, it happens, Gramps. And kid, when you get lost... Wait. I know this sand, this water, this sky, but something's wrong. I wanted to go back to my home, that place where I had developed so many memories. Some good, some bad, but time had kept moving on. I didn't get it at the time, but even if I went back, it couldn't be the same. Well, my home never became quite as chopped and screwed as Destiny Island gets here. Riku Ansem describes the island as a prison. Again, was Destiny Island ever really home if our three raft-building pals were ready to risk everything to head out on the high seas? Riku found a way to cross over into other worlds. We might say he traversed, using darkness, and succumbed to Ansem's control. Sora and Kairi cared most to explore a whole new world with their friends. Kairi's home is somewhere out there, after all. Well, they got it, even if it meant a lot of hurt. That's life, I guess. That's friendship, I guess. That's growing up, I guess. This is all quite cheesy, everybody. I get it. But it's competent cheese. Alas, the Abyss is ready to stare back at you, and Kingdom Hearts has come to... And oh my god, what is this thing? Ah! So this thing is an anomaly. The atmosphere took a hard left turn and crashed its car into a mirror maze called Heart of the Kingdom or something, and I cannot explain it. But look at it. This is where you really gotta face some true darkness. Imagine being an imaginative child who regularly imagines the worst things when in the dark. Couldn't have been me. Oh well, not giving up now. Riku's heart is finally in the right place. Took the end of Kingdom Gellion to get here, but hey, folks, time keeps moving on. Ansem and Sora were both curious about the nature of the world outside of their own. Ansem wanted an understanding. Sora wanted an adventure. Sora carried Kairi in his heart. Ansem forced Riku into his heartless. Ansem abandoned himself. Sora realized his self was nothing without the other selves around him. Is the knowledge of the world really worth sacrificing what heart you can put into experiencing it? I mean, you gotta grow up. Time will not stop moving on. You'll be alone sometimes. It sucks. It's okay to be so sad about it. But why do so many people carry such malice towards others because of it? Is it the fear of lost time? Is it the fear of knowing their world will come to an end? We can open the door now. Not that door. The other one. And hey, don't call me kid. Kingdom Hearts had seeds of a big, lovely mystery about the anxiety that comes with a little lonely experience. A sharper cheese, for sure, but nothing pressing hard against the normal flavor of these Japanese game, anime, manga, blah 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 stories that can, well, actually be real darn good. It's a dreamy kind of thing. A feely kind of thing. There are millions of these things we won't get in this world, love it or hate it. But in this world are so many other worlds, so many hearts to get to know. Isn't there a beauty in that wonder? Don't you want to wonder too? The sun also sets. It'll become dark. It has to be sometimes. Just as it has to be light sometimes. The door to the world is always open. Just as some doors have to stay closed. But the day will come when you can connect with the right hearts to share what's waiting on the other side. You'll never know what it is. But with time, with friends, with belief, you'll be ready. Sora, you can be done now. And don't forget, even in the dark, your friends will always be with you. You can open the door now, and it'll be okay. Promise.